everyone, Chocolo here, but not for a video review, it's for a tier list. Well, you probably know that by now, you've seen this before. At least most of you have, maybe some of you haven't, so I'll explain what it is just in case you haven't. So basically, it's a website called Tiermaker. You can upload, there's like a template of different tier lists already there, but you can make your own basically. So every couple of weeks I make my own various subjects. This one is actually Ben and Jerry's ice cream, so which are the best ones, tiered essentially. So by tiering, I mean, you essentially grab one from the list. You can see there's, I don't know, 20 odd, not sure how many there are, but 20 odd, maybe 22 I think. One of these images, which I made myself by the way, so you have to make them yourself, but you know, yeah. As I say, there are existing templates, but yeah, basically you grab one and you just drop it on the corresponding tier that you want. So you can say, well, I think this one, you know, a salted caramel brownie, whatever. I say, oh, it's not very good or it's great, and you put it on the appropriate tier and you drag more and more onto it, and eventually you'll have a sort of a finished tier list. Yeah, so now you might be seeing, well, the first thing you might be asking is why is the rest at the top? So I sort of I'll briefly mention it. It's basically, this is a default layout from the website. Now you can do your own things, you can change these to be whatever you want, but basically just to be consistent with other tier lists I've done, and just for ease of use really, I've just kept it the same. So S, A, B, C, D. Now S is from Japanese high school grading actually. I think it's high school anyway. So they just have like basically that's the best mark essentially. And I think it's Tiermaker, I think, was originally for sort of computer game sort of tiering and stuff like that, or maybe sort of streamers would do it for game streaming basically and tier things. And S is not uncommon in sort of high scoring for computer games, or video games, you know. So you might see, you know, you might just get an S rank if you do particularly well, basically, rather than A+ or whatever. Well, you might get A+ as well, but then you'll get S's basically. So essentially, sometimes a bit like you'll get gold, silver, and bronzes, and sometimes you get platinums as well in games. And it's a bit like that. The S is basically above the A essentially, as like platinum's above the gold, you know. So yeah, bit confusing, but just if it is, S is the best. If you think of it as super or something like that, that will might make it easier. But yeah, I could have just made A, B, C, D, E, but I just thought I'll keep it consistent with the ones I've done. I'll keep it consistent with the website. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. Special, maybe special, I don't know. Super special or both. Okay, right. So yeah, there we go. So yeah. As I say, I've done a few of these, so you know, in the top right hand corner at some point, maybe now, maybe later, but if you see an eye symbol, you can basically click on that and you can view playlists of all my other tier lists as well. So there we go. Yeah, so there we are. So I think perhaps without further ado, best continue. I don't think there's anything more to mention. I might have forgotten something. Hopefully I haven't. Now these are all roughly in alphabetical order, but yes, they are Ben and Jerry's current range of ice creams, basically. Yeah, so there are ones that you know, they don't do anymore, you know, have been discontinued, things like this. These are all their current range. Now, I'm not including the non-dairy ones, the vegan ones, just because I generally haven't had those really, is the long and short of it. I had to draw the line somewhere. I have included the Move For You range, which is their lower calorie ones. I could have not included those. Maybe I shouldn't have done, but I have. But I drew the line at the vegan ones just because I've not had them, unfortunately. I just thought, you know, I've just not had them. So, you know, there is one of these I haven't had actually. One of them I've not had. But since it was, I just thought, well, you know, it's 1 out of 22 or whatever it is. I think it's 22 anyway. Whatever it is. Yeah, so, you know, it's not so bad. But since I've not had any of the vegan ones, I just thought it's not going to... Yeah, I think I've still got one to review. I think I do have one to review actually. For, it would be a members review, I would have thought. So I do have one, but I've not eaten it yet. I've not tried it yet. So I just thought there's no point, you know, putting that whole range on. When this the one I've not tasted of these ones in the same range and stuff like that, and you can kind of gauge it perhaps. But it's probably one I don't know how I'll sort of tier it really. We'll come to it, I guess, and see what happens. Cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, so there we go. I just thought I'd keep it in because it's in the same range, and it's it just makes it's complete then, I guess. But yeah, I haven't seen it though. It's a bit of an odd one. I just haven't seen it. So it might be exclusive to some supermarkets. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, so hopefully, this will be a premiere. So there will be people in the chat, including myself, all going well. So hello to the chat. Hello to myself. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see you, I'm sure. So you can leave a comment after the event, or you can chat if you're watching this live. As I say, it will be down as a premiere. Great way to chat to me, and a great way to chat to you, and a great way to chat to each other as well. So yeah. But we could do more premieres, really. There's no reason why I can't just do all my reviews as premieres. Maybe I should. Something to consider. Let me know. maybe it's worth doing. There's no real reason not to, basically, I don't think. Just got to schedule them for the next day. I mean, I might not always be there myself to chat in them, but you know, doesn't mean everyone else can't chat. I might be there, I might turn up for some of them, of course. I think so, you know, I want to make sure I'm there for them if I can, really. So I don't want to dilute them. So, but let me know what you think anyway. Let me know what you think in the chat or in the comment afterwards. Okay, without further ado, let's get going now. So we need to set a baseline here. Now we've got the regular Ben & Jerry's ones, the so-called, I think they were just called what do they call them? Ice cream tubs, I guess. We've got the topped ones as well, the Netflix ones, which is sort of a special sort of edition ones. We've got the Moophoria ones. We've got some of the core ones as well. The core ones seem to have died a death a bit, really, and there's probably a reason for that, because they generally weren't that great. And they do these topped ones as well, which are generally, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Yeah, we need a baseline. It's very difficult because most of these are all really nice. You know, it's very difficult. So what I've got as well is I've got on my right, so you'll see me looking off to your left, but to my right, just to get the description of what each of them are. So, you know, just so I can, you know, it's just, yeah, it's hard to remember just what's in everything, of course. You know, I can roughly get the gist of it. Cookie dough, you know, it's cookie dough in it, vanilla ice cream. But yeah, you know, I might just need to look off to the side just to remember. But I have had all of these, as I say, I believe so anyway. I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, other than one. So, you know, I do, yes, I am a fan of ice cream. I'm a fan of Ben & Jerry's. So, yeah. Obviously, it's a difficult one because you don't have them all the time. Well, you know, maybe you do a bit, but you don't have them all the time. Or, you know, so some of them I have had more recent than others. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we do need a baseline, really. It's going to be quite difficult, this, I think, you know. Difficult one, I think. Difficult one because most Ben & Jerry's are nice. You know what I mean? There are a couple of, you know, ones that are not quite as nice, but baseline is one that's pretty average. You know, and it's hard to find an average Ben & Jerry's. To be fair, it is pretty difficult. Yeah, it is pretty difficult, really. To be honest with you, yeah. What do we think? So we do have the salted caramel brownie. We do have the yeah, salted caramel brownie. There's two. There's the full fat one, I guess. And there's the Moophoria one. Yeah, so a bit of a difficult one, that one, because you know, I mainly have the Moophoria. Well, anyway, we'll come to that now. I'm going off on the tangent. Really. Let's find the baseline before we get carried away. Very difficult, though. Very difficult for me, I think. You know what? I mean, some of my friends, it's their favourite, but for me, I'm not sure that it's mine. I don't mind it, but I think fish food might be the baseline here. Now, a bit controversial, this one from the start. I think we'd say this. I say some people this is their favourite, and I do really like it. Actually, I do really like it. But as I say, most of these are really nice. I think fish food, though, for me, it's not quite one thing or another. Basically, I still like it though, because it's basically a combination. Let's see, what's the description? Let's have a look at fish food. There's a band called Fish, by the way, and I think if you look on the back of this, that's where it comes from. I know there's chocolate fish in it, but there is a band called Fish PH. There's some quite good songs, actually, but back in the day I used to listen to them quite a lot, but, you know, before I had Ben & Jerry's, actually. Yeah, so chocolate ice cream, marshmallow, caramel, and chocolatey shaped fish. So it's not bad, but for me, it's not great, you know what I mean? It's not upper tier, basically. This is, you know, a B for me, which is still nice. You know, do not get me wrong. A B in this list is going to be pretty good. But obviously, compared to some of the others, it's not my favourite. It's not my least favourite. It's a good middle of the ground. And I think, actually, that's probably me satisfied with a baseline there. Fish food, it's an average Ben & Jerry's for me, by which it's still nice. It's one I would get. I haven't had it for a while. There are ones I get ahead of it, basically. There's a number I get ahead of it. There's a number I like a lot less than it as well. So you know what I mean. But because obviously, you know, this is the thing with ice cream. It's the same with my friend who really likes this one. You know, why would you get, you know, one you like worse or less than another one? And you rarely would. So that's why I don't have it as much, because there's just ones I just prefer, basically. And obviously, I do sample the new ones as well, and often I'm disappointed, but sometimes not. Yeah, sometimes not. So I might just go through these. Left to, I'm not sure, in alphabetical order, as I say, so it's a bit, you know, maybe not, I'm not sure, so we'll see. I don't know, I could just mix them up a bit, and maybe I should mix them up. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I should I just mix them up a bit? Yeah, maybe I'll just mix them up a bit slightly. We'll mix the Moophorias up as well and just get them, so try and mix these around. So it's going to be difficult because they're not,
yeah, so they're mixing them all up a bit. So you know, might make reference to them a lot to more difficult because in there on the website they are in alphabetical order as well. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. So you can see, yeah, it's mixing them up and matching them. So it's not bad. We've possibly mixed them up quite well there. I don't know. Maybe we've not. I've no idea. Right. Okay, it's pretty much random. So we'll see what's happened there. They might still be not quite in order. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So caramel sutra then. Yes. I mean, you know, well. Okay. That's a bit of a dodgy one to start with. Okay. So let's get the description of this one. A core of soft caramel surrounded by chocolate and caramel ice creams with chocolatey chunks. Right. So this one, it's not. It's basically the core range is sort of like where they've got like essentially like a center of something. The core is the center of the tub, and it'll be like generally one thing. In this case, it's just a caramel sort of layer of. It's just like like a sort of solidish caramel. Well, it's solid, but you know, in the sense that ice cream solid, it's that kind of solid. Surrounded with basically chocolate and caramel ice creams as well. And it's the core ones generally don't tend to be that great. You know, I don't know why it is. And it's got chocolatey pieces in, but they just don't tend to be that exciting. I don't know the gimmick of the core part is just not that great. I've just never really found them that good. There was one exception, which was one I really didn't think I would like, and I didn't really have it for a while. It was a peanut butter one, peanut butter and jelly. I can't remember what it was called, but it had a jam core. It wasn't jam as in or jelly, jelly. You know, if you're from the US, I guess. But it wasn't jam as in just jam you'd spread on your toast. It was a really nice sweet centre. And it was, I don't know, yeah, not a bit like the caramel centre to this one is, but in a sort of like a strawberry flavoured or raspberry, whatever. And it was really nice actually, and it was up there with one of the best Ben and Jerry's I'd ever had. And I was really surprised by it. I didn't think I would have liked it, and I really did. And it disappeared not long after that. And you know, it's a real shame. But we're left with a lot of pretty poor substandard core ones now. And most of them are pretty poor actually. This one included. It's not that great. They're just they're never, not one thing or another. They're very bland. For Ben and Jerry's, they're very bland. They're as bland as you can get generally, these core ones. They just tend to just be, you know, an ice cream with a filling, and that's it. You know, maybe two ice creams. You know, as I say, it's chocolate and caramel ice cream here, and they're just not that exciting. You know, just not. And you think the core would be really exciting. It's not. It's just like a solid layer of something that's, you know, caramel in this case, and you think it would be great, but they're just not. You know, they're just the blandest Ben and Jerry's you can get. Really, they're just not exciting at all. And you feel like it's just a waste of calories, you know, in your Ben and Jerry experience. When you get Ben and Jerry's, you want something really full on, ridiculous, over the top, stuff with stuff. And these core ones, despite sounding like they would be, they're just not. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's a D, but they are pretty poor as far as Ben and Jerry's are concerned. I mean, obviously, you know, there's not many Ben and Jerry's that are just not very nice. So we've got to bear that in mind when ranking these, tiering them. You know, you can't really say, well, it doesn't taste horrible, so it's not a D. I think it's a core one. It's boring. I'm going to put it in the D one. There probably are worse ones out there. You know, there are a couple of, well, I'll come to them in a bit that I'm just, yeah, I think are probably worse than that. But core ones generally, yeah, I think they're probably going to be up in the D. So there we go. So cookie dough switch up, or whatever it's called, this one. I think it's sandwich up, I think, basically. Vanilla ice cream with chocolatey sandwich cookies and chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough and a chocolatey cookie swirl. So it's basically, now they rebranded this one, but it's basically Oreo, essentially. Cookies and cream, Oreo, this, that and the other, is what it is. They look grey as well, this one, when you have it. It looks grey for some reason. Yeah, it's very weird. I think they changed the recipe. It was called something else at first. I can't remember what it was now. It's better than it was, basically. But again, it's just cookies and cream, essentially. It does have Oreo biscuits in and stuff like that. I mean, what does it say? Chocolatey sandwich cookies and chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough. It sounds really good, and it's not bad. It's better than, as I said, they've improved it. But it's essentially, if you imagine, it's just got sort of bits of, you know, what look to be Oreo biscuits in, and then all the other stuff mentioned. As I say, better than it used to be. They've improved it. I can't remember what it used to be called or what it used to have in it. They've just improved it slightly. But as I say, when you get it, it looks grey. It's a very weird one. I didn't mind it, but as I say, there's ones I'd rather have above this one now. I think in the old days it probably would have been a D. I can't, as I say, I could be wrong, could be misremembering, but I'm sure that it was better. It's better now than it used to be. But generally, it's cookies and cream. It's a bit of a boring one. It does have, you know, it is Ben and Jerry's, so it's got loads of stuff in it, but it's just not a great one, really. But it's better than it used to be, but it's, yeah, I think it's a C, this one. It's just not, It sounds better than it is. It's like all these cookies and cream chocolate bars and things. They're just generally not that great. Yeah, not that great. So we have peanut butter cookie dough, and this is a Move 40 one. It's a lower calorie one, this one. Now, of course, so it's not really comparing apples with apples, so we have to bear that in mind. This is one that is just lower calories. I can't quote you the calories off the top of my head, but let's just say it's half the calories of one of the regular tubs of Ben & Jerry's. One of those, they've got like a slight purple background. One of the ones with a more blue background. There's only 4 of these Move 40s, all the rest are sort of full fats Ben & Jerry's. This one, peanut butter, it's okay. It's one of those where it's very noticeable that it's just not a full fat Ben & Jerry's. You know, I don't really like that term, full fat, but I'm going to use it because I think it's applicable. Well, it might be, you know, as I say, well, it might be full fat actually. It might just be the calories that are fewer. But anyway, well, you know, what I mean is a proper full-on Ben & Jerry's by full fat. I'm not actually, it's not a literal interpretation of that. Although it could still be true. Yeah, so yeah, I think for me it's just the problem is that you can just tell it's not one of those. You can just tell it just doesn't have the intensity that a regular Ben & Jerry's has. It's not bad. Peanut butter's okay, you know, but it's just it's a bit like the caramel Sutra, really. You know, bizarrely, it just, you know, it's just noticeably not as good. There's something missing in it. In this case, yeah, it's okay though. It's okay, but as I say, you know, we'll come to in a bit that there are better ones in this Move 40 range. People who, you know, been chatting to me in Discord in the comments and stuff will know which one this is. But yeah, this one, it's not that great at all. I mean, I don't know. Is it as bad as... I don't know. I think I'm going to still put it in the D tier because I think, well, it's very difficult, this one. We might see what happens. But generally, it just isn't a great one. You know, I've got to sort of be... It's not bad, basically. But it's definitely on the lower end of the Ben & Jerry's scale, for sure. For sure it is. Yeah, so, you know, as I say, if things become apparent that, you know, it's not quite working out as tiered as I'd expect, you know, there's one's ending up in tiers that shouldn't because ones are too high or too low and they've skewed the list, we'll come back to it. But for the moment, I think it's about right. But as I say, so I've got So Far So Good together, I think. I just got So Far So Good. It's a So Far So Good together. But yeah, caramel ice cream with a salted caramel swirl, chocolate brownies and chocolate cookies. This one, I have to say, I was very happy with this. I really liked it, actually. I really liked it, yeah. Really nice, really nice. Really nice. Yeah, it just had, I don't know what, I didn't think I'd like it. I really didn't think I'd like it. You know, caramel ice cream with a salted caramel swirl, chocolate brownies and chocolate cookies, but it was really nice. I just really enjoyed it, actually. It just really, I don't know. I think it's one you'd look at and you wouldn't think much of it, you know what I mean? Especially from the description. But it was really good. Really good. Yeah, to the point where actually I was sort of thinking, you know, I need to have this again, you know, straight away. It was that nice. It's hard to say. We'll probably find out as we go through the list, actually, but it's definitely up there. You know, it's a surprising one, to be honest with you. I never thought I would be that bothered about this one, but as I say, when I had it and I thought, you know what, I've just got to have this again. Got to have it again. And I did. It's an S for sure. It's better than you think, that one. It doesn't sound much to look at it or to read the descriptions, but I was very much in love with it. It was lovely. It was lovely. There's a couple of Ben & Jerry's that disappeared. There was one that was really nice, and there was a mint one, actually. What's it called? There's been a few that have come and gone. You know, to be honest with you. This is from the UK side, by the way, I must say. I didn't mention that before. This is UK Ben & Jerry's. It's not US. So, yeah, bear that in mind. Yeah, there was a couple. They've had a few that have been come and gone, really. I think One Love was one, I think, and some Peace or something was another one. They come and go. And there's some vegan ones that have similar names to that. And there's another. There's a mint. I think it was Minter Wonderland. I think it was called, which was actually really nice. So I think it was that one anyway. Yeah, there was another one. There was one I didn't think I'd like, and it had like a fruit swirl in or something. You know, it was basically like one you think, well, that's, you know, normally it's like caramel, chocolate, peanut butter, you know, sweet brownies, cookie dough, you know. But this one, it was obviously, it wasn't healthy, but it was basically centered around like a fruit theme. You know, it was a fruit one. It did have bits of fruit in, but it was gorgeous. Yeah, that was an S rank one as well. Unfortunately, I can't recall what it was called. Really irritating that. Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you can think what it was. But I'd say it was some kind of, yeah, just can't remember what it was called. I'll have to, you know, yeah. One day maybe I'll find it out, you know. Yes. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, birthday cake. Birthday cake's basically very similar to cookie dough. but it's birthday cake pieces, you know, so it's like soft sponge, you know, perhaps similar to brownie as well. It's very nice actually. I was very happy with this one. I did like it a lot. I see what the description is for this one, birthday cake. It seems to be a thing, doesn't it, birthday cake? Recently, past 2 or 3 years. Vanilla cake batter ice cream with pink frosting and strawberry swirls and cake pieces. Yeah. Was it Save Our Swirled? That was the one I really liked. It might be Save Our Swirled, you know. Is that still around now? I think it was Save Our Swirled was the one. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a second. We'll just finish off birthday cake. Yeah, really nice this one. Originally, I thought it was going to be basically an S tier, you know, top tier one. This one, I'm not sure that it is. But it is really nice. It is really nice. Yeah, and it's very close actually. It's very close. I think for me though, I'm going to say an A rank. I think, but it's very close to being an S. I really do like it. It's better than it sounds basically. I think I just like the flavor. I like the strawberry flavour in it as well as all the rest of it. It just works quite well. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I just don't think it's not quite an S rank. It's really nice though. I did really like it a lot. Now Fairway Seven, this is the one I've not had. It's the only one I've not had. So it looks quite nice actually. I don't know if this is it's a salted caramel ice cream with chunks of caramel bar. So it's basically got just like chunks of caramel in it. You know, big sort of chunks of, I don't know if it's fudge, but yeah. It sounds a bit, I don't know, it sounds a bit mundane. I don't know what to rate this one. It's the only one I've not had. I've included it just because, otherwise I'd just be missing one of them. You know, so what can I do? I mean, it sounds okay. It doesn't sound like it's going to blow your socks off though, does it? I mean, it's basically salted caramel ice cream with chunks of caramel. Yeah, so don't know, not sure about that one. I think I'm gonna say C. I'm just gonna play in C, but we do have to bear in mind that I haven't had that one. It's the only one I've not had. The only reason I say I have included it is just purely because there's only one of them that I've not had. So I thought, you know, just to be complete. But well, I've put it in a C just based on its description. Salted caramel ice cream with caramel pieces. You know, but I could be wrong. I'll have to update that one. So bear that in mind. You know. But it doesn't sound. It sounds like it would be a C, to be honest with you. But as I say, I've never had it. So salted caramel brownies. This is the Muforia one. This one. Now this one actually is the one. You know, yeah, it is the one. I mean, you know, don't think I'm going to be. Yeah, basically, this is the best one of the Muforia range by far. It is really nice. It's basically like having a in quotes full fat Ben and Jerry's. You can only tell slightly because there's just not as many brownie pieces in there. Let's have a look. So let's just see if we can find the description of it. Yes, caramel ice cream with brownie pieces and salted caramel swirl. Yes, doesn't say salted caramel swirl. It says salted caramel swirl. But yeah, it's just really nice. The only thing about it, I mean, it's low calorie one. Normally that you kind of expect that the ice cream's not taste as nice or have a bit of a weird consistency. It tastes really good, and it's half the calories, pretty much, maybe even more than over half the calories than a regular Ben and Jerry's. The only thing that makes it in any way feel like that is purely because it's not got as many, or the brownie pieces aren't as big as they are in a regular, like, you know, chocolate brownie Ben and Jerry's or whatever. The smaller, there's not as many of them, and the smaller. But the ice cream tastes fantastic. Everything else, it really does taste really nice. It's one I actually, you know, have quite regularly because it's so nice and it's half the calories. You know, it's honestly, it's that good. You know, I have this almost above, you know, just because it says half the calories, and you think, well, I can have this and not feel too bad about it. You know, obviously, there's still a lot of nonsense in it. You know, it's not good for you by any means, but it's really nice actually. It's a surprising one. I highly recommend this one above a lot of Ben and Jerry's. Yeah, and for me, it's an A. It's an A for sure. It's really good. You know, it does. It's not only because it's half the calories, but that definitely plays into it. But it's actually really nice in its own right as well. Now, the only thing going against it is the lack of brownie pieces. There's a clear, you know, there's fewer pieces in there basically, or the smaller or both. It is relatively noticeable, but it still tastes amazing. It's that good. Yeah, strongly recommend you trying that one. You won't be disappointed. As I say, you really won't. Really stands on its own 2 feet for sure. Caramel tutor, yeah. Originally, I think I probably edited it. I'm not sure. I got these caramel sutra and caramel tutu confused. This one was one I think one day let's just read what it's in actually. Let's just have a look what's in it before I forget. Caramel tutu. Yeah, caramel ice cream with caramel swirl and chocolatey covered caramel chunks. Yeah, so basically, I always dismissed this one. It never appealed to me. Never had it for a long time. And then one day, I went in. I really needed a Ben and Jerry's. I think I went into probably Tesco or something, and they just didn't have any in. They had none in other than that. For whatever reason, can't remember why. It's very rare that happens, but just had none in. Or maybe they were charging full price for all the others. They can be quite expensive, and that was one. That was the only one half price. I'm not sure. So I ended up buying it. I think, because normally I'm very much against buying a Ben and Jerry's that you're not really bothered about because it's so many calories and things. Very difficult to justify having one you're not bothered about. When you eat so many calories, it's just yeah. But I bit the bullet, I took the risk, and I had it, and it was really nice actually. I was very happy with it. It was just really nice. It's just the caramel pieces. They're like sort of like caramel filled. Well, not buttons, but you get those caramel filled buttons sometimes, things like this. Chocolate buttons filled with caramel or anything like it. It was like that basically. It was just really nice, all those bits in it. It was just really nice. I was just really happy with it. It was just really nice. I really like the consistency, biting into the chocolate and having that caramel on the inside. It was just a lovely consistency. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was very nice. Not sure, is it better than fish food? Is it better than fish food? I don't know there, it's a hard one. To be honest with you, I don't have it much, because as I say, there are Ben and Jerry's I'd have over it. I'd like to try it again. It's been a while since I had it, but I was very happy when I didn't, I was very surprised. It's probably very close between a B and an A, this one. Very close. I think, I'm not sure. Very close. I'm going to stick it in the B for now. Yeah. In the B for now. But it is a nice one. It is nice. Better than you'd think. If you've not had that one, it's probably one you might dismiss quite easily. I mean, it's still around, so maybe most people don't. But yeah, it's very nice. But it's one of those. It's a good one. It's better than you'd think. Really, is the gist of it. It's not an S rank by any means, but it's nice. It's nice. Chocolate fudge brownie. Now this one is really nice as well, actually. But it's a bit one note. Well, you can probably guess what's in it. But the description: chocolate ice cream with chocolate brownie pieces. It's quite sort of straightforward. This one. I used to have it more than that. I've not had it for a long time. It used to be one I had quite a lot. Yeah. Used to have one I used to have quite a lot, but it's just a bit mundane nowadays. It's not bad because it has quite a lot of brownie pieces in it. That's the thing with it. You see, if you have salted caramel brownie. You'll and compare it to the chocolate fudge brownie one, there's so much more chocolate brownie pieces in this one than there is in the salted caramel brownie, the move forward one. But it's just a bit one note. It's just chocolate ice cream with chocolate brownie pieces, and that's my thing with it. So that's why it's kind of remained. It's never. There's been Ben and Jerry's that have come out that have just overtaken it basically, and that's just remained behind. It's just a standard. It's a good one. But it's just not as it's just for Ben and Jerry's the excitement's not as there with this one basically. It is nice, but as I say, it's just a bit of a It's basically it's a B tier one. This one, yeah, it's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's okay. It's a good one. It's basically another baseline one really. Fish food. Perhaps a bit harsh on that one, but as I say, it's just I don't know. It's lots of pieces in that one, but it just doesn't do it for me as much as others, basically. Now, cookie dough. This was my favourite for a long time, long time. Cookie dough. Let's have a look. It's vanilla ice cream with cookie dough pieces. Vanilla ice cream with chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough and chocolatey chunks. Really nice. I just like the cookie. It's what introduced me to cookie dough, really. The whole concept of it, and I just love it so much. Now, they have done cookie dough separately in bags you can buy, and it just doesn't work, basically. I know in America, the US, they have cookie dough quite a lot. It's not really been a thing in the UK, as far as I'm aware, anyway. And obviously, maybe now it is because of things like this. But, you just never, you might have been making biscuits or whatever, which is, in the UK, what we call cookies, and then you might have eaten the raw dough or something. I'm not sure. I don't think people generally do, but you might have done. When you're baking cakes and stuff, you put your finger in the bowl and stuff like this. So that sort of concept did exist, but not. I don't think to people to generally eat it. So it's yeah, it works because of the ice cream basically, and they are really nice, those cookie dough pieces. I really like them. They're just something that I love them. You know, for the longest time, for a good, 80% of my Ben and Jerry's life, cookie dough was the top one, but it's just fallen a bit behind recently. It's just not quite as. It's still good. It's a bit like chocolate fudge brownie, but obviously I preferred the cookie dough one. It just had more to it. I don't know. It just was nicer. Chocolate ice cream generally is a bit. I don't know. It's not as exciting as you think. You'd think because chocolate's good. You think, oh well, chocolate ice cream, chocolate cake must be better, and it's not always the case because it just has. It's always a bit. I don't know. It never quite works as well as you'd think. And things like vanilla ice cream and sometimes work better with chocolate pieces in because you just get the contrast, and vanilla flavour just, I don't know, it just works better sometimes. So you can be overloaded with chocolate sometimes. It's a bit of a weird one, counterintuitive, but that's why I find. But cookie dough, yeah, it's got the vanilla ice cream. It's not really vanilla as well in Ben and Jerry's case. It's ridiculously, literally full fat this time. Vanilla ice cream, it's got the chocolate pieces, cookie dough pieces. Just work really well together. But as I say, not as good as it used to be. But I still like it. In my mind anyway, it's not as good as it used to be. I mean, it's still the same product, but yeah, so it's an A rank, this one. I think it's quite similar to birthday cake as well. I kind of view them quite similar, really. It is still really nice, but yeah, just, I don't know, it's just fallen behind a bit. It's a bit out of favour these days. Now, half-baked. Now, this one, I mean, well, I'll just read what it is. Chocolate and vanilla ice creams mixed with brownies and chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough. So it's basically cookie dough and fudge brownie mixed together. So clearly, I mean, you know what I mean. Clearly, that is going to be better than these two. And to be honest with you, for some reason, I rarely had half baked. I just bought cookie dough, even though half baked did exist. I don't know why. Makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, I think it's just purely because it just wasn't there as often. I think it wasn't in stock and stuff like this. I'm not sure. It seems really bizarre that I did that. I don't know why. I think just because I sort of. I think for a time I just preferred the cookie dough side of it, but basically it's nice to have that contrast, and I think half baked really does tick those boxes. It's just yeah, as I say, it's just a combination of them both, and those two added together are a powerhouse pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're the best Ben and Jerry's, but it's very, very much up there. As I say, just having cookie dough and chocolate fudge brownie mixed together, which is basically what it is. I used to think it had I used to think it was fish food as well, but it's not. Yeah, it works really well. It's an S rank, that one for sure. Yeah, it's just got two of the two very strong flavors. I mean, fudge brownie is not quite. The reason for fudge brownies in the B tier is because it's just too much of one thing. There's not really that much excitement in it, but it is nice. It's just too. It's just not varied enough like other Ben and Jerry's. But this gives it that variety. Being mixed with the cookie dough one, it just really does. Yeah, it's a great combination. Yeah, really good, that one. So baked Alaska. Now this one it's your white chocolate one. This one I've not had this much. Or is it? Oh no, well, sort of. Vanilla ice cream with a marshmallow swirl, 11% says, and white polar bear shaped chunks, 7.5%. I don't think it hasn't given you percentages on the other ones I've seen. Oh, maybe a bit slightly. I might have. Oh no, I don't think it has. Yeah. Some of them it gives percentages. I don't think it's given them on any of the others that I've read so far. Yes, this one, I mean, it's okay. It's basically, marshmallow swirl and white polar bear shaped chunks. So it's basically vanilla chocolate with white chocolate pieces and a bit of marshmallow in there. It's all right. It's not one. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, obviously, if you like white chocolate, then there's not many Ben & Jerry's with white chocolate in, I don't think. So you're kind of limited to this one. There might be some others slightly, but over the years. But I think this is generally the only one that's still around. Was Chunky Monkey one? I think I might have had them in. I'm not sure. There's been a couple of others that have been and gone, I think. Yeah, this one, it's okay. I mean, yeah, as I say, if you're really desperate for white chocolate, I think this is obviously where you got to go. But it's just a bit of more of a mundane one, really. I don't think it's that great. I know some people really like marshmallow. Yeah, but so again, but I think for me, I wasn't bowled over by it by any means. So I think for me, it's a C one. This one, it's just okay. I'd say it's got things for people who really need white chocolate and perhaps marshmallow. But I don't know. It's just still vanilla ice cream. It's just still a bit of a mundane one. It's all right. I think I'd just rather get all these above it, basically. Yeah. So there we go. I have another Move Forward one now. It's a chocolate cookie dough one. This one. It's not bad. This one. It's not bad. But the problem with it is that the ice cream, chocolate ice cream again is a bit different again. It's not as good as you'd think it is. Basically, I know it sounds like it should be really good chocolate ice cream, better than vanilla and stuff, but it just generally is a bit. I don't know. It doesn't quite. It's not as good as you'd think, basically. It just, as I say, it's just for some reason it's just a bit more mundane than other ice creams. It just doesn't. Don't know what it is. And this one's a low calorie one, and you can tell basically. You can tell this one is a low calorie ice cream, unlike the salted caramel brownie. And again the peanut butter. Well, the peanut butter cookie dough one, I think it was just a bit. It was just a bit mundane. It wasn't. It was horrible actually. It just was a bit mundane. Yeah, it was just mundane. You know what I mean? And when Ben and Jerry's are, to be mundane, it's not what you want from a Ben and Jerry's one. And it didn't taste that great either. It just didn't have much going on in it. That's why it's in the details. I've probably explained before. Chocolate cookie dough. Yeah, this one, it's not bad. Sometimes I get it as an alternative to the salted caramel brownie just because I want to have something else. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll get it as well as, and maybe have them both. I shouldn't do that, but yeah. So really, it's okay. It's good because it's got low calories in, but again, you can tell because it doesn't have as many cookie dough pieces in as the regular cookie dough one. As I say, the ice cream you can just tell it's not as nice. It's just not as nice. And of course, if you want a Ben and Jerry's, you want that sort of experience, don't you? Really, and if you don't, you're not really getting it with this. But nonetheless, it's not too bad. I mean, this Kama Sutra one, I think that's more down there as well because it's just a full fat in quotes again, Ben and Jerry's, and it's just not that great. This one, I don't know, it's a bit better. I think because it's the low calorie one, it has a bit of a perk because of that. So I'm going to put it in the C range there. I do have it. It is one I've had more recently than others. Based on the fact that from a choosing of my own, I wanted to have it over other ones. But it's partly down because it's a good alternative to perhaps cookie dough because it's half the calories, but it's just not as nice, and it's, yeah. So the ice cream's not terrible though, it's still nice, but it doesn't melt the same way that regular ice cream does. You don't have any of this problem with the salted caramel one up here. That's you cannot tell other than the quantities of brownie pieces that's not a proper full fat Ben and Jerry's. But this one, I say full fat in quotes, not literal. Although could still be the case, as I say. But this one you can. It's got fewer cookie dough pieces, and the ice cream is not great. Not as nice as normal, and it's chocolate ice cream as well, which, as I say, doesn't quite work as well either. Generally, even the best ones. So, but I've still got room for it because it's still, so I think I can have both of these pretty much calorie wise. Is as much as one of the other ones. Although obviously, as I say, there's other things in it that are not good for you, so bear that in mind. Yeah. Right, next, Netflix and chilled then, this one. So what's this one? Peanut butter dairy ice cream with sweet and salty pretzel swirls and brownie pieces. Yeah, what was that cherry one? They did a cherry one, didn't they? I'm not sure what happens to that. Now I am going off what's on Ben and Jerry's website at the moment, so I'm quite sure it's up to date because there's a couple of new ones in there. They're not actually come to me; they're both together. So I'm quite sure it's up to date. So these ones should still be out. This one I was disappointed with it. I had it and I thought it was okay. I think there was another one. I'm sure there was another Netflix one. There is one down as a Netflix one. It does have two Netflix ones in here. Yeah, you should see. Maybe I'm thinking of that one as well. Let's go back. Yeah, no, I'm not. There was another one. I'm sure it was cherries in or something. I'm not sure. I can't recall now. I'm sure it had something in it that, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Netflix and chill. It was all right. It was all right. I had it once and I've never gone back to it, and I've never had any desire to have it again. It wasn't terrible or anything. It's just there's just better ones out there. There's a peanut butter dairy ice cream with sweet and salty pretzel swirls and caramel pieces and brownie pieces rather. I don't know what it was. There was just some. I don't know. It just never. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me at all. I don't think it's terrible or anything, but it was just not as good as others. By far. I'm just trying to think really. Clearly from that, it's not going to be above, in the B or aboves. I'm just trying to think where it would be really.
Cookie dough switch. It wasn't too bad. Kama Sutra. Yeah, it's just because it's a core one, really. It's probably a C. It's probably a C. I think it's close to a D purely because of the fact I just remember thinking I'm just not impressed with this one. It's okay. I just don't remember. I remember thinking, you know, it's all right, but I've never felt the need to have that one again. And when you think that of a Ben and Jerry's, that's quite a low rank, really. So it probably really might be. It might be a D, but it's just better ones out there, as I say. You know, there's better peanut sort of buttery ones, I guess. Well, there has been. I'm not sure if there is any more actually, but yeah, I don't know. And brownie pea, it just wasn't that great. It wasn't that great, really. I think the peanut butter ice cream ones don't tend to taste that great either. So there's only that one peanut butter one. There's one for coming up actually as well that's not bad, but generally doesn't seem to work that well because it's never followed up with other nice things. So I tend to find the peanut butter ones are just a bit underwhelming, really, like the peanut butter cookie dough one and this one. Yeah. Now the caramel cookie fix. This is one of the Muforia ones. Vanilla ice cream with salted caramel swirl, and shortbread cookies. This one is terrible. It's terrible, this one. I actively dislike this one. It has a really weird taste to it. It's the cookie pieces. They just taste horrible. The shortbread cookies. They're just not nice. They have a weird, I don't know, you know, almost like a metallic taste to them. I just don't like them at all. Really unpleasant. It's just got a really horrible taste to it. I don't know what it is. It's a Muforia one. It's a lower calorie one. Yeah, this one is the worst of the lot by far. You know, it's just actively not nice. I do not recommend you go anywhere near this one. There's so much better to have. You know, some forms of capital punishment are more enjoyable than this. So just don't go anywhere near it. It's not, you know, honestly. If there's an F tier, it would go in it. We don't have an F tier. I'm not going to start, you know, as it gets complicated if we started in. But yeah, this is the worst. D for sure. It's lower than a D. It's the worst one. Yeah. It's on another level, that one, in badness. It just has a horrible taste. It just does not work at all. It's not nice. I mean, you know, you might not think that, you know, you might tolerate it more than me, but I actively don't like that taste from those cookies. It's not nice. And that's it. It tastes metallic. It's got a weird, horrible aftertaste. I don't know. I'm not going anywhere near it. I had it a couple of times. I bought it once by accident, forgetting. I think I forgot which one I didn't like. At the time, I was thinking maybe it was the cookie dough one. I think I'm not sure. I can't remember why I bought it, but yeah, there used to only be 3 of them. The peanut butter one's a recent one. But yeah, this one it is. These two are not bad. Not horrible. You know, this one is just not actively nice. Just stay clear of it. Don't go anywhere near it. Get this one instead. It's 5 billion times better. As I say, there's, you know, yeah, there's forms of physical torture that are more enjoyable than this. Just stay away from it. You could argue that this is a form of physical torture, but yeah, keep away from it. Horrible. Yeah, salted caramel. This is the full fat one. You know, again, well, probably not brackets. They're not inverted. Well, speech bubbles, whatever, speech quotes, whatever it is. I don't remember having this one actually, to be honest with you. I mean, I someone's talking about it in the comments about it, and I think I've just always just having the Muforia one now. I mean, let's have a look. What's it called? Salted caramel. Yeah, they've done a range of ones called Topped, basically. And it's where they have like a solid top of like chocolate or something. And to be honest with you, these I've not been impressed with these. That's why I've not had this one again. Yeah, so what's it say? Salted caramel, it's vanilla ice cream with a salted caramel swirl, chocolate brownie pieces, chocolatey chunks, and a chocolatey topping. It sounds like it'd be really good, and it isn't. It's really disappointing because it has this top, and it's got, like I say, it's just like these weird. It's just like a solid chocolate top, and it's just not very nice. It's just not very nice. I think they've tried to copy. I think it's hard. Is it Magnum or something? There's another. I think it's Magnum ice cream tubs do a solid topper to them. I mean, they've just tried to copy that, you know, and it's just not very nice because it's very boring. The top is boring, and then underneath you're just left with like a relatively mundane ice cream for some reason. I don't know why it is quite mundane. It sounds like it'd be very exciting. Vanilla ice cream with salted caramel swirl, chocolate brownie pieces, chocolate chunks, but it isn't. It was just really mundane. I didn't feel the need to go anywhere near this again, really. Again, after I'd had it. Yeah, I don't want to say really. It's yeah, I don't know. Is it better? I mean, you know, I feel like it should be a C, really. I mean, you know,
I think for what it is though, I just didn't really appreciate. I just didn't think much of it at all. It just the whole experience wasn't great. You know, it didn't have the same because I had all this topper stuff going on you had to get through, and it's just really boring. It's just solid chocolate, and what's the point? And then the ice cream underneath wasn't that exciting. You know, I would have preferred to have the chocolate pieces inside it and stuff. I know there's other bits in it, but I don't remember even thinking much of the fact it was salted caramel or anything like that. I mean, this one, the one up there, the Mufoil one, just really stuck with me. This one just didn't. I think I'm going to say it's a C. It's probably almost a D, really, but I'm going to... Yeah, either a C or a D, but I think it's probably better than a D. Yeah. I think, these two at the end, I mean, they're just not as good as others, basically. They're ones that are like, they're not bad, but you would never get them over others. There's just better ones out there. They're just superseded by other ones generally. Yeah, I'll leave them in C for now. But this one, and this one, they could be D's. Those, you know what I mean? They're just unimpressive. But I'll leave them in C because it's probably been a bit unfair. But I just, I just don't feel the need to go anywhere near those. So got these. Yeah, what's this? What are these new ones we've got now? Let's see, we've got this one here. So yeah, it's a chocolate ice cream with a swirly chocolate cookie dough centre and chocolatey chunks, and it's called the twist one, really. So basically, it's a core one. The core ones, basically, they just called them something else. I don't know why. It's basically a core one, so it's got a central column of stuffing. Yeah, and it says it's a cookie dough centre, basically. It's got the same problems as the core ones. It's just really mundane. It's just got something. It's not that interesting. It's just not that interesting. It sounds like it'd be really good, but basically it's just a solid core of something. And you just get like, in cookie dough, you think, oh, that sounds really good, but you just end up with just massive, big chunks of stuff that you can't, it doesn't melt like the ice cream. It's not in, you end up just having the ice, you enjoy the ice cream, you just end up with this big solid ball of stuff, and it's just not very nice. And same with the core ones as well. Actually, you have that problem with those. They just don't really work. The concept for me just doesn't work. Chocolate ice cream with a swirly cookie dough. And it's like a poor man's cookie. It just doesn't work. It's just not that great. This one, I was very unhappy with this one. Yeah, I think this one is a D for me. It just didn't really work very well. It wasn't very exciting at all. And I think the chocolate cookie dough isn't as nice as regular cookie dough either. As I say, it's similar to these two here. I mean, this Netflix one, and let's say they could easily be in there. Tempted to move them down because they've got nothing going for them. That's I'm going to move them down. They're just not really interesting. Those ones. They just don't work for me. And there's better ones out there. These ones kind of, have something going for them. I mean, obviously I've not had the Fairway Seven one, but they've got something going for them. They're quite distinct. These ones, I just don't. I have no desire to go anywhere near these ones. There might be a day where I think, oh yeah, quite fancy cookie dough one. Basically cookies and cream one, or a fancy bit of white chocolatey ones or whatever. Fairway Seven sounds different enough as well. It doesn't sound like there's many others like it. So but we'll obviously gloss over that to an extent. These ones though, they're just not great. They're just poor examples of what they are. Now this one here, we've got this one as well. This is the Raindo cookie dough twist. The same thing. It's vanilla ice cream with a swirly rainbow sprinkled cookie dough centre and colourful chunks. So it's a bit more exciting than the other one. I found I preferred this one to that one just because it wasn't chocolate ice cream. Because I say when I was mentioning before, the chocolate ice cream and stuff, it tends to and chocolate cookie dough, it just tends to not be as nice as vanilla with chocolates. So vanilla with chocolate pieces. The chocolate one just seems, the ice cream's just not got as nice consistency and stuff like this. It's counterintuitive. I realise this, and you might, I don't know whether you agree with this, but I've just found, chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream, just isn't as good as vanilla sponge and vanilla ice cream with chocolate pieces. You know what I mean? Chocolate ice cream with chocolate pieces doesn't taste as nice as vanilla with chocolate pieces. I don't know what it is. It's the contrast. I'm not sure. The consistency of the vanilla ice cream as well. This one's slightly better. It's still not great. It's got all the problems of the core where you just end up with lumps of cookie dough core and left over, and it doesn't work very well. It's tempting to put it down here, but I preferred it than the other one. the core concept is just not very good. Yeah, it's still tempting to put it as a D. I think I'm just gonna put it as a C, but it's very much between the C and the D. This one, it's only just a C. It's for all those reasons. The core concept just not been fundamentally been flawed. Just end up with, as I say, you just have, it's just this hard center, or relatively hard, and it doesn't. You have to scoop. I'd rather just have bits of cookie dough, not in the rest of it, not just this core. And so you end up with a big mound of it at the bottom and stuff, and it rolls around at the bottom, and you have to try and hack at it to get it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit more interesting than the others, and it's also these rainbow pieces and stuff. Give it just a slight something about it, but it's only just in there, really is. Yeah, so chocolate caramel cookie dough. So is this another topped one? I think it might be. Yeah, so chocolate ice cream with a caramel swirl, chunks of chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolatey chunks, and a chocolate topping. It's the same problem as the other top one. It's all the same. It's just got this topper that's rubbish. It just gets in the way. It's a bit like the cores. It's just a mound of stuff on the top for no reason really. It doesn't taste great. It's a pain. It stops you getting to the ice cream. It's annoying. And the actual ice cream, so it's a bit better because it's got chocolate, it's got cookie dough in it and stuff, which I quite like. But again, I just rather have the cookie dough one. It's just got nothing in it. It's got chocolate ice cream as well, caramel swirl. But it's just better ones out there. There's even this one's probably better. Anyway, it's just not that exciting. I'd rather have just half baked. You know what I mean? It's just not a good flavour. Again, it's another D one. This one. It's just not. It just doesn't do it for me at all. I say this nonsense of this topped concept. Like the core just doesn't work. Just gets in the way. It's a pain. And then underneath it, you've just got a rather mundane flavour that's bettered elsewhere. I've no reason to go to that one ever again, and I won't. Yeah. So there we go. Chip happens. This one I didn't think this was still for sale. But it's on the website and it has been updated recently. So a cold mess. It's basically was it something botch, a limited botch flavour basically. That was the that was the shtick on this one. A cold mess of chocolate ice cream with chocolatey chips and crunchy potato chip swirls. Yeah, so I don't have to change it. I didn't know it was crunchy when I had it, but basically it was like this. There was like cake pieces, a bit like the birthday cake pieces. They're actually flavoured as crisps, so it's chips as in crisps. And it was really nice, actually. I have to say, it was very unusual. They did taste like crisps, a bit like sort of salty flavour. It was salted caramel almost, not caramel-like, but it was, same kind of concept, I guess. It was really nice. I really liked it, and it just tasted really good. I don't know what it was. I just like that. Let's say chocolate ice cream, chocolate chips. Don't know. Obviously, chocolate ice cream. I've been laying into that a bit, but the fact that it just had this, let's say this salty sort of cake in there. It says it's got crunchy. So I don't know if they've changed it a bit. It says crunchy potato chip swirls. It wasn't crunchy when I had it. So it could be slightly different. So based on the one I've had, I'll say, which was basically like cake. It was just cake pieces when I had it. So I said they might have changed it, but I don't think they will have done, but they could have done. I'll say it wasn't crunchy when I had it. It looked like it was going to be. They looked like they'd be chips as well as in crisps. Like they had looked like thin. So I actually thought they were going to be just solid, although they would get soggy in ice cream. But anyway, it looked like they were just chips, but it was actually cake. So when you sliced, you cut into it with your spoon or whatever. Yeah, it was just cake piece, and it was really nice actually. I liked it. I really liked it, and hard to say this one, because obviously it is a bit of an odd one. It's a sort of typical Willy Wonka style flavour. But it worked. I liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I'd like to have it again. Could I say it's an A, an S one over an A? I think I probably will. I think it is an S for me, that one. It's unusual. But yeah, it's nice. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it, as I say. One of those, it might be a bit of a gimmick, but there's something about it, and it might be a bit strong to say it's an S, but it worked. Don't know. I really enjoyed it, actually. I recommend trying it. It's very unusual, probably quite divisive, that one. It probably is a love or hate one, that one, but for me, I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. Might be a bit on the low S side, maybe more of an A than the others, perhaps. But I don't know. I'm not convinced enough to change it. I think an S. I'm going to say an S. Stay with an S. Yeah. Yeah. Recommend trying that one for sure. Different for sure. We've got now Blondie Brownie. Now this one. Blondie Brownie. So this is another, it's a core one. A soft salted caramel core surrounded by chocolate and vanilla ice creams with chocolate brownie chunks and Blondie Brownie chunks. It's a core one. You automatically know that's going to be COD. For all those reasons, the core just is a pain. It's just a solid lump of stuff in the middle that just gets in the way. Doesn't work with the ice cream. You end up with just masses of this core at the bottom because the ice cream's easier to eat than the core. It's too hard or a lot harder. So you just end up with big lumps of core at the end. It rolls around at the bottom of the tub. You're hacking at it, trying to get it. Don't enjoy these at all. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate brownie chunks, and Blondie Brownie. I mean, the Blondie Brownie ones it's the only weird place to get them, I think. Anyway, I can't recall it being any others, or maybe some have been discontinued. I'm not sure. It's just a core one. It's not great. I just don't like those concepts. And this one, as I said, the Blondie Brownies and the brownie, it's better ones. Like, basically the half-baked one has cookie dough pieces, which is your vanilla ice cream and your cookie dough sort of texture. It's not quite the same, but it's just better to have elsewhere. I just don't. This one, the core concepts, I don't even think this. I mean, I've given this Raindo one the benefit of the doubt, really, but I'm not going to give this one. I've no interest in going near this one again. It's a D for me. They just don't work, that concept. It just doesn't work. These top ones, the core ones. There's only one core that worked, as I say, and that was the one where it was a jam core, and that really did work because it was peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and jam. It was a good concept and it worked. The core was actually a lot softer as well. It just really worked. It was the only one that's worked, and I didn't expect to like it when I had it, and it was really nice, and they discontinued it. It was literally the only one. It was up there. It was an S rank on that one for sure. I really liked it, and unfortunately I only discovered it or only gave it a chance basically when it was on its way out, so I was really disappointed with that. But shame. But this one terrible. Well, it's not. It's terrible. As Ben & Jerry's goes, it's mundane, and to me, terrible is perhaps not true, but for Ben & Jerry's, it's terrible. Just don't. I wouldn't go anywhere near that one. It's just so much better than it. So much better. Got peanut butter cup one. This one's one I stayed away from for a long time because I didn't really think I'd like peanut butter for a long time. Those of you who watch the channel regularly will know I do like peanut butter. Some of my favourite bars of peanut butter in it. So yeah. So this one. So I did give this a try eventually. I'm just trying to find it. Where is it? Peanut butter cup. Peanut butter ice cream with peanut butter cup. So this is the one where the peanut butter ice cream works. So I was talking before about ones with peanut butter in. Peanut butter cookie dough. Where's the other one? There was another one, wasn't there? It was a Netflix one, wasn't it? Peanut butter. I'm not sure which one it was. Peanut butter ice cream. This is the one that it works because basically you've got pretty much Reese's cups in there, and it just works. This one is where it works. So if you're going for your peanut butter fix, other than that core one that was discontinued, which was the one to go for sure, this is the one to have now. I'd ignore the others. This one just is nice. Yeah, it's got none of that nonsense in it as well. None of this core stuff. It's not great. It's not the best one ever. But it does it. It works. You know what I mean. As I say, it's not going to blow your socks off, unfortunately. But it is the peanut butter one to have for sure. It's just nicer than the others. It does what it says on the tin. It just does it right. It's not, as I say, not going to blow your socks off. It's basically a B. But it is nice and I like it. The others are just. Not the other peanut butter ones are a waste of time. That one just does it right, and it gets it right, and there's no nonsense about it. So this cone together one now. So this is a relatively new one. Vanilla dairy ice cream with chocolatey coated waffle cone pieces 8% and a salted caramel swirl 8%. This is one of the newer ones as well. I think was it no? It's got like some kind of, what's it say? It's got like a peace message basically, or something along those lines. Like will come together, it's come together. It's basically meant to be about, I think being, it says welcome on it and stuff like that. I think it's just welcome, to bring people together. So that was what's on the top of on the lid. Basically, see there's some writing on there. If you can quite make it out. Some of them have little bits of writing on based on what edition it is. Where this one's about sort of being welcoming to people who are different and stuff like this. It's a nice message, but as for the flavour itself, it's not a great one, unfortunately. It's one of those that just isn't great. It's a mundane flavour. I had this one. It was all right. it was one of those, again, it's one of those Ben and Jerry's ones, a bit like the D ones, maybe the C's, but more the D's, which you can probably imagine that's where it's going to go. It's just a nothing one, you know, and it's vanilla ice cream, all right. Chocolatey coated waffle cone pieces, well, they were just like, I just remember them not being that great. And salted caramel swirl. So there's just better ones out there, you know, salted caramel brownie is just better. It is just better, you know. The Move Warrior one. The cone bits just weren't that great. I don't know, they just weren't interesting. They just didn't do anything for me at all. And that was about it really. So you got salted caramel swirl, you've got, you know, so these cone bits aren't that great. And vanilla ice cream. So there's loads of ones, you know, cookie dough got vanilla ice cream in, half baked got vanilla ice cream in it. Did Chip Happen? I don't think Chip Happens did, but there's loads of them with vanilla ice cream. I think birthday cake. You know what I mean? That box is ticked several times over elsewhere in a better way than this one. It's just not a good flavour. It's a D basically. It's one of those you'll just never go back to it. You know, you have it once, all right? You know. There's basically the D ranks on these ones are all ones where you have them once and you'll never have them again, as far as I'm concerned. At least me anyway. I know some people are different, you know. That's fine. Obviously the camel cookie fix, I mean, that's deserves to be destroyed and never looked at ever again. But the rest of them, yeah, they're just, you know, they're just ones you would just never really have again. I mean, if you find yourself in some really unfortunate circumstances, you might have them more than once, but generally you just wouldn't. There's all these above them that are just so much better, and some of them that have been discontinued or some limited edition runs that are just better than them. So there's just no reason to go anywhere near these. There really is no reason to go anywhere near them, and they're just not that great. The C ones are okay because they're just distinct enough. There's something about them that isn't found particularly anywhere else. I mean, maybe slightly, but not to an extent. You know, I'll say the cookies and cream one. I've not had the Fairway Seven, but I'd say from reading the description, caramel chocolate with caramel ice cream, sorry, with caramel sort of pieces in there, quite big chunky pieces. So it's a bit different. Baked Alaska white chocolate, you know, chocolate cookie dough. Yeah, it's basically chocolate ice cream cookie dough, which is the low fat one as well. And this Raindo one, it's okay. You know, it suffers from a lot of problems, but it's a bit distinct, and things in it are not generally found elsewhere. But yeah, so the C ones are just quite unique, but probably ones not to have too often, but are unique enough that you might go to them at some point. The D ones are just better. There's better alternatives elsewhere, and they're not that great. Anyway, the B ones, they're nice ones. They're you kind of you sort of, you know, every now and again you'll just fancy these ones. The A ones for me are like, yes, these are the ones I'll regularly have, and they're very nice, which does say surprisingly includes the Move Forward salted caramel brownie. So I definitely recommend trying that one. You know, half the calories of the others, but still probably not healthy, as I say. But might have all the sugar. I'm not sure. Probably won't have all the sugar, but might have all the fat, so I don't know. But calorie wise, you know, it's around half the calories, or if not more than that, than others generally. Yeah, and the S1 ones are just the ones that just really are nice for me. I say conversely though, I do mainly have the salted caramel brownie one just because it's just half the calories, you know, and it really does have the taste. It really does taste that nice, you know. Yeah, so that's the one I have most actually. You know, as I try, because of all the chocolate I eat at the moment, doing all these reviews and things, I have to be quite careful of the calories I have. It's rare really that I can have a whole tub of ice cream these days, because, you know, I do eat the whole tub, you know. Can't help it once you start, you know. Once you start, you can't stop. Once you pop, you can't stop. But yeah, so really, this one I really do recommend it. Really do recommend it. But yeah, these ones are very distinct, very nice, very unique and lovely. But any of the S or A's are really nice. For sure. You know, it's Ben and Jerry's. You can't really go to, well, you can go wrong. But with S and A ones, you really can't. And the B ones again are nice as well for me. I do like them. Yeah. It's just the problem is, you know, it's very difficult to get one when there's others you prefer over it, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's the problem. You know, I say I quite like fish food. I like the chunk of the chocolate. I think that's the thing with fish food. It's got that crunchy sort of dark chocolate fish pieces. The dark chocolate, I'm sure they're dark chocolate. It says dark chocolatey shaped fish, but I'm sure they're dark chocolate. But whatever they are, you know, so that's the one does have that crunchiness. So that's probably why some people do like that one. You know, my friend really likes that one. But yeah, as I say, the S and A ones, really nice. I think, as I say, I think for me, the S ones are really good, but the birthday cake one could almost be in the S rank, and they're so good, the cookie dough, but it's just not quite there. And the salted caramel brownie one is, as this move forward one, is one I regularly do have. Do really enjoy it. Really do recommend that one. And just because, as I say, it's, it is pretty much a full-on Ben and Jerry's with half of the calories. And that's definitely a good thing. So you could technically have two of them for one of the others, and I have been known to do that. Yeah, so I recommend trying it. I really do, especially if you see it half price, which often happens. So you might not think the same as me, but I was very happy with that one. Very happy, so there we go. But yeah, well, thanks for that, guys. Hope you enjoyed that tier list. Let me know what you think. As I say, in the top right corner as you look, there will be a link to all my other tier lists, so click on that if you fancy watching some more. As I say, this one's been a premiere, so hopefully I've been chatting to you, and yeah, good to see you, I'm sure. But leave a comment for free. Still leave comments if you're watching this after the event. Still great to hear from you, and I can get in touch with you that way. Yeah, check out the main program. Great to support the channel. Links in the description. Yeah, check out the Discord server as well. A great way to keep in touch with myself and other members of the community. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know your opinions and stuff like that. Hopefully, hopefully you agree with me. But if you didn't, I'd like to hear your points of view. I'll say in the comments or in the chat. I'm sure I've already heard that. Be interesting to hear either way. Yeah. As I say, let me know, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, like the video. All this, that, and you're a great support the channel. It really is doing all these things. Really helps me out. So thank you so much. And take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See you.